Hey, close your mouth right now. If that felt like a correction, if your default was mouth open, this episode's for you. Mouth breathing is not a quirk. It's not a minor habit. It's a pattern that changes the structure of your face, disrupts your sleep, chronically activates your stress response, and bypasses one of the most important molecules your body produces. And most people do it all day, every day without knowing it. So quick recap, last episode was the foundation. Breath is the only autonomic function with a manual override. What drives the urge to breathe is CO2, not oxygen. Most adults ventilate, they don't breathe. So today we'll get specific about what that actually means. Because the pattern most people have defaulted into is not natural. It's actually working against almost every system we covered in the fascia and fasting series. The fascial system, the nervous system, the emotional body, the sleep architecture, the metabolic efficiency, all of it downstream of how you breathe. So two patterns in particular, mouth breathing and chest breathing. Two habits so common they feel normal. Neither of them is. See, the nose is not just a passageway, it's a processing facility. Think of it like this, right? Your mouth is a loading dock built for throughput, food in, speech out, emergency breathing when the nose is blocked. Your nose is a lab. It filters, humidifies, and temperature regulates every breath before it reaches your lungs. It removes roughly 99% of airborne particles, bacteria, and pathogens from incoming air. It adds moisture so the air doesn't dry out the airways. It warms cold air to body temperature before it hits the lungs. But the most important thing the nose does is something most people have never heard of. The paranasal sinuses, the cavities around the nasal passages, continuously produce a molecule called nitric oxide, which is my favorite. When you breathe through your nose, the nitric oxide gets carried into the lungs with every inhale. So what does the nitric oxide do? It dilates the airways, opens them wider, it dilates the blood vessels, improves circulation, it increases oxygen uptake in the lungs by improving the match between the airflow and blood flow. And it has antimicrobial properties. It kills pathogens in the airway. Research published by Lundberg and colleagues at the Karolinska Institute in 1996 and confirmed repeatedly since showed that the nasal breathing increases tissue oxygenation measurably compared to mouth breathing. So the nose inhale and mouth exhale protocol showed a 10% increase in tissue oxygen levels compared to mouth breathing. That's not a marginal difference, 10%. When you breathe through your mouth, you bypass the entire lab. No filtration, no humidification, no temperature regulation, and critically no nitric oxide. You are getting the loading dock version of air when your lungs were designed for the lab version. Now the consequences, and I want to go through these carefully because some of them are well known and some of them will surprise you. Mouth breathing during sleep is one of the primary drivers of sleep disordered breathing. Snoring, upper airway obstruction, sleep apnea. When the mouth is open, the tongue drops back, the airway narrows, and the soft tissue vibrates or collapses. Research shows that children who are chronic mouth breathers are significantly more likely to develop sleep disorders, with cascading effects on attention, behavior, cognitive performance. In adults, the sleep disruption is quieter but consistent. Lighter sleep, more frequent arousal, less deep sleep, less REM, waking up tired despite being in bed all day. Now the face, this one gets overlooked in adults because the window has passed. But in children, during the critical years of the jaw facial development between 2 and 14, chronic mouth breathing changes the shape of the face. The tongue's natural resting position is against the roof of the mouth. That upward pressure helps widen the palate and guide the mid-face forward. Mouth breathing drops the tongue away from the palate. The palate narrows, the jaw lengthens, the chin recedes. Dentists and orthodontists see this constantly. It's the structural consequence of breathing pattern maintained for years during growth. Next is anxiety and stress. Mouth breathing bypasses the nasal nitric oxide mechanism. It also tends to be shallower and faster than nasal breathing, which keeps CO2 lower than optimal. which, as we discussed last episode, triggers the stress response. Not dramatically, just persistently, a low-level hum of physiological alert that never fully turns off. The person who says they have chronic low-grade anxiety and doesn't know why, before anything else, I want you to know how they breathe, because the pattern that produces the physiological state has been running 20,000 times a day. Now, the second pattern, the chest breathing. Your primary breathing muscle is the diaphragm, the dome-shaped muscle sitting at the base of your ribcage. When it contracts, it flattens downward. That downward movement creates negative pressure in the chest cavity. Air rushes in. Simple, efficient, the way the body was designed to work. But here's what most people actually do. Instead of the diaphragm dropping and the belly expanding, the chest rises. The shoulder lifts slightly and the neck muscles engage to help pull the ribcage up. The belly stays flat or even pulls in. This is chest breathing, and the problem is not just mechanical. The chest breath activates the accessory breathing muscles, the muscles that were designed for emergency use, for the sprint, for the fight, for the moment of genuine threat. When those muscles are running your breathing all day, your nervous system receives a continuously low-level signal that we are under load. Something is happening. Stay ready. See, the nervous system does not know that you are sitting at a desk. It reads the muscular pattern, and the muscular pattern says threat. There's a fascial layer too. The diaphragm sits at the center of the entire fascial system. It activates to the lumbar spine through the crura. It connects to the pericardium, the sac around the heart above. It relates directly to the psoas. The deep hip flexor that the fasting series showed is one of the primary muscles of the threat response. A restricted diaphragm, one that has been underused for years, pulls on all of those connections. Lower back tension, hip restriction, even neck and jaw tightness, all of it downstream of the muscle that we're never taught to do its primary job. Last episode, I gave you the chest and belly hand check. One hand on chest, one hand on belly. Which one moves first? Which one moves more? If the chest hand dominates your chest breathing, if your mouth is open at rest, your mouth breathing. Most people are doing both. A few other signs worth knowing. You sigh frequently throughout the day, not from emotion, just randomly. That sigh is the body trying to reset. It's the nervous system's automatic self-correction for a CO2 level that has gotten too low through shallow, fast breathing. You wake up with the dry mouth breathing throughout the night. Your throat may be sore, your lips dry. You feel like you didn't sleep enough though you were unconscious for 8 hours. You feel like you can't get a satisfying breath, like no breath feels quite complete. So you breathe more, bigger, faster, and it doesn't help. Because the problem was never that you needed more air. The problem was that you were getting rid of CO2 too fast, and the body couldn't deliver the oxygen it already had. These are not random symptoms. They are the consistent fingerprint of a dysfunctional breathing pattern running quietly in the background of a person's entire life. And I want to be careful here because this is not a miracle claim, but the research on correcting chronic mouth breathing and chest breathing shows consistent improvements across almost every metric ever discussed. Sleep quality improves, often significantly. When nasal breathing is restored during sleep, anxiety levels reduce, not because of a physiological intervention, but because the physiological driver of the anxiety response was addressed. Exercise tolerance improves because nasal breathing and diaphragmatic breathing are merely efficient, and CO2 tolerance increases, allowing more oxygen delivery to working tissue. Fascial restriction in the neck, shoulder, and hips begin to ease as the diaphragm relearns its full range of motion. None of this happens overnight though. The patterns that created the problem took years to form. Rewiring them takes consistent practice and time. But the direction of change is reliable because you're addressing the upstream cause, not managing the downstream symptoms now. 20,000 repetitions a day. Every one of them is either reinforcing the dysfunctional pattern or practicing the correct one. The math works in your favor once you know what to practice. So here's what I want you to take away from this episode. The tension in your neck that won't release, the anxiety that seems to have no source, the sleep that doesn't restore, the low energy in the the afternoon, these are not character flaws. They are not stress management failures. They're not things you need to meditate or supplement your way out of. They may be the downstream effects of the pattern that was been running 20,000 times a day since somewhere in your childhood. But the good news is 20,000 repetition a day is also 20,000 opportunities to change it, and it costs nothing. And it starts the moment you close your mouth and let the lab do what it was built to do. Episode 3 will go into the vagus nerve, the nerve running from your brainstem to your abdomen that governs whether your body is in a threat mode or recovery mode. You can't access it directly, but your exhale reaches it every single time. So I'll see you there.